First up, it's the leading vote getter and the host for this year's All-Star Game, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. This is Clark's first time being selected as a team captain, and she joins A'ja Wilson as the only players to be named captains their first 2 seasons in the league under this new format. Caitlin is on pace for her second season, averaging 18 points, 8 assists. No other player has done that even once.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark gets nearly 1.3 million All-Star votes, more than the entire top 30 players combined got in 2023. She breaks WNBA history and becomes team captain. In her first interview appearance since her groin injury a few weeks back, she triumphantly returns to ESPN for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. During the actual program, Clark makes a move so bold it literally changes everything. Are you ready to hear all about how Clark made history again? If you're excited about Clark's return, then comment CC record breaker. Let's go.
And then out west, it's the Minnesota Lynx Napheesa Collier making her debut in captainship. But don't get it twisted, she knows this game well. Fee has been named an All-Star 5 out of the last 6 games. She's the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year and the favorite to win MVP according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. But how about we check in on her GM skills? We're about to find out what those look like. It's just about that time. The captains are here. Fee, Caitlin, how are we feeling heading into your first draft as captains here?
Here's something that will blow your mind about what Clark just accomplished with these All-Star votes. While she was recovering from her groin injury, fans were out there voting like their lives depended on it. Clark pulled in 1,293,526 votes. That's not just a record. That's a complete destruction of everything the WNBA has ever seen before. Let's talk about how crazy these numbers really are. In 2023, the top 30 All-Star vote getters combined for 1,171,000 votes total. Clark beat that number by herself. She got more votes than 30 of the best players in the league combined from just 2 years ago. A'ja Wilson led the voting in 2023 with 95,860 votes, which sounds impressive until you realize Clark got 13 times more votes than that.
There are fans out there online who say it's Fever versus everybody, and when they see this voting, it's only going to fuel that notion.
The WNBA has been around since 1997, and nobody has ever seen fan engagement like this. Clark took a league that was struggling for mainstream attention and turned it into appointment television. Fans who had never watched women's basketball before were suddenly voting for All-Star games. Parents were getting their kids involved in the voting process. Social media was exploding with Clark content during the voting period.
WNBA All-Star captains have been announced. Team Collier versus Team Clark, the top 2 vote getters when it comes to fan voting. Caitlin Clark, over 1.2 million fan votes. Napheesa Collier not too far behind with 1.1 million fan votes. Aaliyah Boston was close, less than 2,000 votes away from a Team Clark versus Team Boston All-Star Game experience. That would have been quite the entertainment, but instead we get Team Clark versus Team Napheesa Collier.
Her return from injury becomes this triumphant moment where she discovers she's not just back on the court. She's the most popular player in WNBA history, the needle mover. The voting results prove that Clark's impact goes way beyond basketball stats. She brought an entire generation of new fans to the league. The numbers show something the WNBA has never experienced before in terms of pure popularity and mainstream appeal.
That's Caitlin Clark. That's the Caitlin Clark phenomenon right there. That is a perfect example. The year before she showed up, all the way to what? Basically 13 times the amount of votes, because she almost got 1.3 million.
Clark's vote total proves she's not just a superstar who had a good year. She's the face of the entire league. Her injury absence made fans realize how much they missed watching her play. The voting became their way of showing support and demanding her return to the spotlight. This record-breaking support sets up what happens next in the draft perfectly. Clark walks into that ESPN studio knowing she has over 1 million people who voted specifically for her. She's got the power and the popularity to make bold moves. But here's where things get really interesting about how her fellow players actually view her.
I feel good.
We're ready.
Ooh.
I'm excited to get it underway.
I'm ready. I'm excited. This is going to be a whole lot of fun here. I'm curious, Fee, can you just take me inside? I think Captain GM Fee has a nice ring to it. What's your strategy here as you're looking towards this draft?
It does have a nice ring to it. I like this position a lot. I feel like I got to try to get some of my Hootie Hoo Owl girls on here. I got to try to get some of my Husky girls on here. So I've got an agenda coming into today.
All right, we got a little bit of an agenda.
What Clark does next is so bold and unprecedented that it literally makes WNBA history for the first time ever. The draft begins with Clark and Nafisa Collier as captains, sitting across from each other virtually at the ESPN show. Everyone expects a normal draft where captains pick players. Clark has a secret plan nobody sees coming.
What about you, Caitlin? What's your strategy here?
I'm going on vibes.
Ooh.
We're picking whatever comes to mind. We're just having fun. My team's going to be fun. That's all that matters. You get to be in front of the home crowd in Indianapolis, so that's right.
Being in front of the home crowd is an important thing and could play maybe to your advantage here. We've done enough talking. It sounds like it is time that we get this draft underway. I've always wanted to say this. With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft, Team Clark selects.
I know this will be super surprising to everybody watching, but I'm going with my teammate, Aaliyah Boston, baby.
We're putting Aaliyah Boston
Welcome,
up on
baby.
the board here. Aaliyah Boston going here to Team Clark.
The draft starts with Clark picking Aaliyah Boston first. This shows loyalty to her Fever teammates and proves she values the chemistry they built during her rookie season. Boston was there for Clark during the tough moments, and Clark rewards that partnership with the first pick. The choice sends a message about how Clark values relationships.
Aaliyah has been on opposite teams with Nafisa Collier in each of her first 3 All-Star appearances, and that tradition keeping it up this year as she's joining her teammate Caitlin Clark. She's been an All-Star selection in each of her first 3 seasons in the league. She's the 9th player in the league history to be an All-Star in each of their first 3 seasons. So you're getting some real talent that you know very well here, Caitlin, on your team.
That Clark even drafts Asia Wilson despite their on-court rivalry throughout the season. Wilson dominated Clark in several matchups and won the MVP award that many thought Clark deserved.
Caitlin, we're going back to you here with the 4th pick in this draft.
All right, 4th pick. I'm going to take Asia.
Asia Wilson. I was wondering when we would see Asia of the
Stack
Aces
my team up.
going off of the board here. Asia Wilson headed to Team Clark here, 3-time All-Star captain. She did select you, Fee, on her team in 2019 and has played with you 3 out of the 4 All-Star games. So it's going to be a little different again going head-to-head here with Asia Wilson, the 3rd straight season of her averaging 20 or more points and her 5th season overall, of course, a certified baller.
But Clark can separate competition from respect. She knows Wilson's talent will help her team win regardless of their individual battles.
I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Ooh.
It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule.
Now.
So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina.
Instead of just picking players, Clark decides to trade away her coach, Cheryl Reeve. Something like this has never happened before in All-Star history. The WNBA and ESPN had to give special permission for this move to happen. Clark announces she wants to swap coaches with Collier, and suddenly the entire draft takes on a completely different energy.
We have breaking
Let me know.
news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something that you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Caitlin. We're taking you down.
The same Cheryl Reeve, who rejected Clark from Team USA last year, gets shipped off to coach Collier's team instead. Reeve was the coach who left Clark off the Olympic roster despite her record-breaking rookie season. Reeve had also made comments criticizing all the attention Clark received throughout the year. Clark clearly remembered those slights and decided to do something about it.
I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch dirt just be moved around because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. If she's there, it's appointment TV. You people, whoever did this, honestly, hey, take your brain, put it in a museum, and study it for how dumb you are.
Clark brings in Sandy Brondello from New York to coach her squad. This move shows she's not just a player, but a strategic mastermind who understands team building goes beyond just talent. Brondello coached the Liberty to success, and Clark wants that winning mentality on her side. The trade proves Clark has real power in the league. Now, this coach trade becomes the most talked about moment because it shows Clark can make decisions that change the entire structure of the All-Star game. Collier and Clark are laughing and having fun with it, but you can tell this move caught everyone off guard. The ESPN producers probably scrambled to figure out how to handle this unprecedented situation.
The coaches maybe is going to be the X factor.
Okay.
The coaches are maybe going to be the X factor.
Hey, Sandy, defending champion, loves to shoot threes, lets her players get after it. I don't know. I'm feeling good with Sandy and Sabrina on my team.
Collier responds with some playful trash talk about the trade. That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we've got more chemistry on our side, more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. That was a bad move on your part, Caitlin. We're taking you down. The competitive spirit comes out immediately after the swap. The coach trade reveals Clark isn't just popular with fans. She's become a leader who makes bold decisions that change the game forever. Clark took control of the entire All-Star experience and shaped it according to her vision. She didn't just accept the coach assignment. She actively worked to create the best possible situation for her team.
By the way, I just got official word from the WNBA, from the league. I am hearing that a trade of coaches is permitted and it is granted. I wish I had a gavel here. So the coach trade has gone through. As the steward of this draft. It has been approved. And these are your teams. This is going to be a whole lot of fun.
This move proves Clark has grown from a rookie sensation into someone with real influence in the league. She's not afraid to make waves or ruffle feathers when it comes to winning. The coach trade sets up the All-Star game as more than just entertainment. You want to know something that will make you question everything about how the WNBA really works behind the scenes? While fans were breaking voting records to support Clark, the players themselves had a completely different opinion about where she belongs in the league. WNBA players ranked Clark as only the 9th best guard in the league. Think about that for a second. The woman who just got 1.3 million votes from fans gets ranked 9th by her own peers. Players like Paige Beckers got ranked 4th. Sabrina Ionescu came in 2nd. Alicia Gray topped the list as the best guard. Even Natasha Cloud and Brittany Sykes got ranked higher than Clark.
There's going to come a time when the CBA negotiations are going on. The owners are sitting across from the Players Association. The negotiators are in the room. They're trying to iron out things. And the owners all come together and they ask a question. They pose a question to the players. And the question's simple. Where's Caitlin Clark? Why isn't she here? And why isn't she sticking up for you ladies and advocating on your behalf? And when the Players Association, when the people in that room hear that question, they're going to be looking at each other, confused, lost, and without an answer that doesn't make them look incredibly foolish.
This creates this weird situation where the most popular player in league history isn't even top 5 in her position according to the people who play against her. Clark dominated fan votes by numbers nobody has ever seen before. But her fellow players basically said she's not even close to being elite at her position. The disconnect between fan love and player respect becomes this elephant in the room nobody wants to address. Fans see Clark breaking records and bringing unprecedented attention to the league. Players see something completely different when they vote. They're watching the same games, the same highlights, and the same record-breaking performances, but somehow they come to totally different conclusions about her talent level.
Everybody is talking about are the player rankings when it comes to the All-Star ballot. They put Caitlin Clark number 9 as far as the guards go for the WNBA. Not number 2 behind, I don't know who would possibly be ahead of her. Not number 3, not 4, not 5. Shout out to LeBron James. Not 1, not 2, not 3. They put her all the way at number 9.
Clark's teammates like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell probably see this ranking and know it's completely wrong. They practice with her every day. They watch her make impossible shots and create plays that shouldn't exist. They know what she brings to the court better than anyone. Yet, the broader player community ranks her behind players who don't have nearly the same impact. The voting results reveal some serious jealousy and politics within the league that fans don't usually see. Players might be protecting their own status or the status of established veterans. Maybe they're tired of all the attention Clark gets. Whatever the reason, there's clearly some resentment brewing under the surface. This internal drama actually makes Clark's captaincy even more impressive. She's leading despite the hate. She's walking into that All-Star Draft knowing half the league doesn't think she deserves to be there.
Caitlin Clark has to be getting a light bulb. Oh, they just don't like me, right? Once we get to the Natasha Cloud and Brittany Sykes, a light bulb has to go off. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, they just don't like me. I'm done publicly coming to your girl's defense. I'm done publicly using my cachet, using my fans, my fan base to come support you guys. We're done with that.
Here's what nobody is talking about regarding this All-Star game. It's not just about the game itself. It's about what happens next for Clark and the entire WNBA. The All-Star game in Indianapolis becomes this perfect storm where Clark gets to perform on her home court with record-breaking fan support behind her. Gainbridge Fieldhouse will be packed with fans who broke voting records just to see Clark play. This isn't just any All-Star game venue. This is Clark's house. The Indiana Fever's home court becomes the stage where Clark can silence all the doubters who ranked her 9th among guards. The crowd factor becomes this massive advantage as Clark essentially gets a home game atmosphere during what should be a neutral All-Star event.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league.
With the coach trade drama and player rankings controversy still fresh, this game becomes Clark's chance to prove the doubters wrong on the biggest stage. She's got Sandy Brondello coaching her team now, someone who knows how to win big games. Brondello coached the Liberty to success, and now she gets to showcase her coaching against Cheryl Reeve, the woman who left Clark off Team USA.
Not to mention being the coach of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famously snubbed from. Of course, Reeve wasn't a part of the official committee, but, some may believe she had some say in how all that went down. Regardless, the picking between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indianapolis for All-Star.
Clark's team lineup reveals the strategic genius behind her picks. Aaliyah Boston brings chemistry from their feverish connection. Asia Wilson provides the basketball power needed to dominate inside. Sabrina Ionescu and Satu Sabali give Clark the perimeter weapons to create spacing. Her reserves include Kelsey Mitchell, another Fever teammate who hoped Clark would pick her. Collier's team counters with Breanna Stewart and her UConn connections. Stewart brings championship experience and a playoff mentality. Collier also loaded up on talent like Alicia Gray, who players ranked as the best guard in the league. This sets up a fascinating battle of team-building philosophies and playing styles.
Clark, Boston, Ionescu, Wilson, Sabali, Mitchell, Gabby Williams. I love Gabby Williams. What a player. Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Jackie Young, Thornton, Kayla Thornton from the Valkyries. So Clark should have a very fast team there. When you look at it, Williams is really fast for a forward. Obviously, Kelsey's very fast. Citron's very fast. Jackie Young's one of my favorite players. Iriafin, a rookie, can get up and down the floor. Ionescu can help spread the floor along with Kelsey and Clark so they can really shoot. Caitlin made sure to get some size. She actually passed up on Paige Beckers to take Sabali, and she took Asia Wilson with her third pick.
The game becomes more than entertainment. It's Clark's opportunity to show she belongs with the elite players who ranked her ninth. Every assist, every three-pointer, and every highlight play becomes a statement about her true place in the league. The Indianapolis crowd will be ready to explode every time she touches the ball. This All-Star game represents the perfect launching pad for Clark. The performance could set the tone for Clark's 2025 season and the Fever's championship aspirations moving forward. The stage is set for something special, but the real question is whether Clark can turn this moment into the momentum the Fever needs for their championship run.
So many fans are new, that is. So they're just becoming familiar with a lot of these teams and a lot of these players. And last year, there was the Caitlin Clark versus the Olympics storyline. This year, of course, you don't have that as naturally baked in, but now Clark's going up against Cheryl Reeve, and Clark is clicked up with her Indiana Fever teammates in Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. A little bit of that Fever versus everyone energy.
Clark's All-Star Draft performance proves she's not just the most popular player in WNBA history. She's becoming the most powerful one, too. The coach trade showed everyone that Clark makes strategic decisions that change the entire league structure. Her 1.29 million votes created a new standard for fan engagement that nobody else can match. With moves like the coach trade and record-breaking fan support, 2025 is shaping up to be the year Clark and the Fever finally get the respect they deserve. The question isn't whether Clark will continue breaking records. It's how many more barriers she'll shatter along the way. If you're excited about Clark's return, then comment CC Record Breaker. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next.